We have a very tragic story of a older brother that lost his life at the hands of his son. And his son was a straight demonic savage, beyond savage. This young man was terrorizing his father. His father ended up getting a order of protection on him, and the son still ended up killing him and mutilating the body. But let's roll a short clip.
Just days after he was served with a court order barring him from coming near his father, Cook County prosecutors said Carlton Edmondson murdered the 61-year-old and mutilated the body in the basement of the older man's home. He then allegedly posted several selfies on Facebook, the Chicago Sun-Times reported. During his bond hearing, when the assistant state's attorney said Edmondson was facing a single count of first-degree murder, in addition to pending charges for violating the order of protection taken out by his father on November 20th, Edmondson shouted, "The order of protection is gone," he said, smiling. He is no longer living. He also laughed at the state's attorney's description of how his father's body was found, his skull crushed and his brain matter splattered on the floor. The outburst had the judge order him out of the courtroom before she ruled that he be held without bond. Court records indicate Carlton Edmondson had been arrested 6 times since September.
If you enjoy the engaging news and information we present on this channel, would you consider partnering with us on Patreon? Your support helps us to remain your go-to source for news and commentary for only $2 or $5 per month. That's less than a cup of coffee. During the YouTube ad crisis, we faced the horrible idea that our show would have to be shut down. But it was great people like you that made the difference and helped to save our show. We want to give a huge thank you to every difference maker that supported us on Patreon, and make sure to subscribe to our channel.
So, as you heard, of course, this is out of Chicago. 26-year-old has been accused of killing his father, mutilating and dismembering his body, and then posing for gory selfies on Facebook. Now, Carlton Edmondson, a self-described producer and singer-songwriter, was taken into custody on Saturday in connection with the slaying of his father, 61-year-old Carl Edmondson, whose battered body was discovered in the basement of his home in the 11500 block of South Bishop Street. Those of you in that area, you know where that's at. Police officers went to the address on Saturday to conduct a welfare check and found the victim with his head bashed in, blood and brain matter splattered on the floor of the walls of the basement. A Bowie knife, a circular saw, a concrete capstone, and a can of gasoline were also seized from the scene of the crime. Now, the elder Edmondson's penis had been hacked off, and responding police officers discovered a piece of the organ in the basement. So on top of him bashing his dad's head in, he cut off his dad's penis. You know, we don't talk about mental illness, and y'all think that I'm joking, or you have some people who, in my opinion, were very ignorant to say, oh, the white people must be cutting him a check, he's mentioning mental illness. Black people have mental illness too. Why can't black people have mental illness but everybody else can have it? Why can't they? Yes, this is evil, I'm not taking away from that, but there are people, and come on, you know good and well, there are crazy as hell people out there in our hoods. We know a lot of them are crazy, and they not diagnosed. They need to be diagnosed. Some of them need to be put away, some of them. And you know what I'm talking about. But we allow them to walk around our communities, not treated, not medicated, or whatever they're going to do with them. And they end up doing things like this. Because this fool in his mugshot is smiling. Like he did something great. I mean, come on. I mean, this is rare to hear in the black community. A black person doing something that a lot of times you see the Caucasian male doing in serial killer type of videos. So, of course, this for me, it was just shocking to read this. Now, it's stated that the victim's corpse was covered in deep lacerations and reeked of gasoline, according to the police. The son uploaded a series of photos onto his Facebook page showing him wearing a black and white jacket covered in what appears to be blood. Those images were still up on the social media site as of Wednesday morning. And see, this is why so many people coming down on Facebook and Twitter and so on and so forth, because they can't police their site when people are posting murder photos or blood from crimes XYZ off Facebook Live. In another post, that was taken down showed the father's head caved in, and it had a weird inscription on the post. It said another status posted updates on the day of the killing reads Bebop, Silence of the Lambs, GD, SHIT. I don't know what this crap is. And they say I'm crazy, GD Cockroach. I ain't budge a weirdo. So if he's saying on here and they say I'm crazy, it goes right back to what I was saying earlier. We know about these so-called crazy people in our neighborhoods, and you see what they're capable of. That's not normal to kill your father like that. That's not things that we do in our community as a constant. And y'all know this. So the dad, they say 5 days prior, was just asking for the police to do their job. And of course, in the black community, they don't do their job. That's why I tell black people, we must be armed in our own community. Police is not going to help you. They're only there to make sure the crime is contained there and don't spread to the white area. That's the only reason they're there. They're not there to protect you or get rid of the crime. So you must protect yourself. So they said that the dad had the son throwing a rick through the father's window. I mean, the son was just, like I said, a crazy demonic savage. That's all he was. Now, as they stated that the son was in court for a bond hearing, and he had several outbursts and told the judge that he was facing counts of first-degree murder and violating the order of protection, and the order of protection is gone. He's no longer living, as you heard them state. So, I mean, like I say, he is just not there. He's not here with the rest of us. So they said he also snickered when the prosecution mentioned Carl Edmondson's severed sex organ. So he's laughing because the prosecutor's telling the judge about him cutting off his dad's penis. And then they said that the murder suspect has a extensive criminal history, which includes arrest for petty theft, public intoxication, indecent exposure. This guy was just out there doing things. I mean, this is one of the most tragic stories I've ever read of crime within our community. I've never read a story like this, that how a black dude would do something like this to his parents. This is a new one. I mean, what's going on? Y'all gotta, I mean, we, certain stories back in the day, and y'all, come on, black people my age, you know what I'm about to say. You could hear the crime and say, oh, you know who did that? We never heard black folks doing this sort of thing. But now black folks are doing this sort of thing as well now. I mean, I don't know what didn't happen to y'all. Y'all lost some people really lost their mind in our community. If people know you're crazy, or you know somebody who's so-called crazy, then you need to identify them and make sure they get the help they need, so they won't do you the same thing or do something bad into their family. That's the only thing that we need to say about that. Please be cautious. Protect yourself at all times. Even if you got a kid like this man had, you need to protect yourself. And if this man possibly would have, took it more serious with his son, had his firearm, if he had to put his son down, he had to put him down. It's just how it is. I mean, it's one of those things that brought you in the world, I'll take you out deal. But I mean, this whole situation just sad. It's horrible. I mean, just to have a son kill his father like that in that manner, just wow. Well, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about this particular story. Share the video on your social media pages. Like the commentary. Subscribe. Make sure you click the notification bell to find out when we post new news stories and live streams.